It's either 72 or 73. And this is from a TV show that was on a public service channel, so there are no commercials here. TV show called Soul, hosted and produced by Ellis Haizlip. And for those of you who were watching TV in the late 60s, early 70s, you know that this was a show which you could call one of the first, I guess probably the first black TV talk show type of format that included live music and live comedy performances, etc. Of its kind, about the first of its kind. It would have a wide variety of people who were involved in not only music but also other forms of black culture at the time, and grew out of that whole political and cultural ferment of the 60s. So Bobby Seale may be on it one week, next week it might be Cannonball Adderley, next week it might be Dick Gregory, and the next week it might be Rahsaan Roland Kirk. So the beginning of the fifth season, the first show of the fifth season, was this one. Rahsaan Roland Kirk, the special guest, and Rahsaan along with the Vibration Society. Rahsaan playing reeds, tenor sax, manzello, stritch, and clarinet. Also gong, whistle, siren, and we have to add one more to the list of instruments, something that Steve Teray said he saw Rahsaan playing that inspired him, the conch shell. And you hear a little bit of conch shell on the ending of, let's see, which one was it? I think it's the ending of Old Rugged Cross. He plays whistle, and he also plays the conch shell and hits his gong. So all that stuff, well, I'm giving it away. But this is what you'll be hearing. The first thing that you'll hear is the introductory announcement by an announcer. Then the inflated tier, only a segment of the inflated tier. Then an interview of Rahsaan with the host and producer, Ellis Haizlip. Following that, Pedal Up, which ends with the solo improvisation by Rahsaan. Then Rahsaan talks to the audience for a little while, for about a minute or so. And then Old Rugged Cross, which, if you've heard the version on Blacknuss, it's similar except his sermon is even longer. And then Blacknuss itself. And now there is a problem with the tape, which was made, off of the air. There's an interruption on the tape, and you'll have to bear with us through that interruption. And then we come back to hear another end of Blacknuss and partial segment of the inflated tier. And then they end in old New Orleans style and a lot of applause. So that is from, I would estimate, about 1972. TV show Soul. Rahsaan Roland Kirk, plus Ron Burton on piano, Art Perry on percussion, Robert Shai on drums, and Mattathias Pete Pearson on bass.
It's Soul. And tonight, Rahsaan Roland Kirk and the Vibration Society. With Ron Burton on piano, Art Perry percussion, Pete Pearson on bass, Robert Shai drums, Rahsaan Roland Kirk, and tonight's host, the producer of Soul, Ellis Haizlip.
Rahsaan, I'd like to welcome you to Soul. It's the beginning of our fifth season. It's indeed an honor and a privilege to have you here with us. And so much of your music has traveled throughout the world, and a lot of people have enjoyed it. Yet at the same time, you know, you are blind or sightless. As you put it, you don't see too good. And I wonder if you had any particular hassles with being blind, or do people just sort of treat you normally in everyday life?
Well, Alice, I wish I could say that they treated me normal. I mean, people that don't know me. They seem to have a superior type thing when they approach me. They seem to feel that because they see on this what they call planet Earth, I call it plantation Earth. They feel that since they can see certain things, that these things are not open to me to see also, and that's where we have the clash. In other words, if I'm with someone, they'll ask the person, does he want this, or does he want, can he pick up his drink to drink it, and things like this, you know. In other words, instead of talking right to me, they seem fit, or seem like their eyes are telling them to talk to the person that's with me, and sometimes the person that's with me doesn't know how my mind is thinking, you understand? So to me, I feel like it's a disrespect to me as being a man, because that's what I am, a man first, and a man that doesn't see too well second.
Do you find that black people are different in any way than others in their attitude towards your not seeing too well?
Well, in that case, I feel that all the people have been programmed with that superior thing. I mean, not all the people that I know, but I'm thinking when they first meet me, black people and white people, they go into this bag like they're it's a superior thing, and it feels it's a drag. I have to constantly tell people, like on airplanes, I get on with my saxophone case, and my shoulders are strong enough to hold this case. One of these airline stewardesses feels like she wants to pick it up. Well, that's, to me, it's taken away from my, strength that the man upstairs has given me. You see.
Also, you play so many instruments. You've mastered so many. I don't know if you're not seeing too well is responsible,
No.
but do you think you have been evaluated honestly and accepted as the genius you are in music, or people relate to it in a different way? You're playing so many instruments.
Well, through certain thinking, certain businessmen thinking, they have, for many years, just me playing 2 and 3 instruments simultaneously has been like, it was like a laughing board for a while. You see what I mean? And people used to think that it was just like a gimmick. And through many years, and many years have passed, and people like Yusuf Lateef and myself and the late great Eric Dolphin and John Coltrane, we sort of, I feel that we were some of the people that brought this thing about playing many instruments. And when they see me year after year, and now that it's that I'm here and my music, it's hard for them to say that it's a gimmick anymore, because it has influenced many people.
Does that extend to your, say, using your nose to play an instrument?
Well, they still laugh at that, but you see, the nose still is a part of your, it's still a faculty, and I think of the people that be out in the native people, the African people. They use, anything that's possible to get to whatever's got to be done with the music instrument, so I feel that the nose is there and it's creating air, so why should it just be, a thing that can't make music?
Rahsaan, have you ever thought of, say, concentrating more on electronic music, since that's kind of in vogue today? I know you dabble around in electronic music, but ever thought?
I think electronic music, to me, a long time ago, around in the 50s, I dealt with electronic before it became a big rage now, because I related to Edgar Reese and people like that. And to me, it's a beautiful sound, but for me to fool with electronic music, I feel that I was being programmed by Bell Telephone, these people that control electric. In other words, these people could pull the plug out of me at any time, and I wouldn't be able to express myself. So I just like dealing with the natural way of being and natural vibrations of music.
In what you say, natural vibrations of music, do you think it's possible for an audience to create anything that in turn forces you to create as you're performing?
Well, the audience plays a big part if they react to the music that's being played. It's like when you go to these beautiful revival meetings at churches, and these people, I've heard it in my from my background, I've heard people, get so wound up in the music. They speak in other tongues, and they don't be putting on. And that was one of the one reasons that I considered doing this show, because when you and I were together on that concert, you really, made me feel like you were in tune with the music that we were playing.
That was an incredible evening.
And that was truly a gift to me for you to get involved in that music like that, because I feel that black people have been so psyched out from our music that we don't want to let ourselves go anymore. In other words, they feel when they go to a holiness church or something that these people are putting on, we have been made to believe that. But see, these people are in touch with a power that's much bigger than this plantation earth down there.
But when you're dealing with music, like you call it black classical music, do you consider gospel and rhythm and blues?
Yes, all of it is beautiful black music to me. And for us to be put in a box, this is one of the biggest things that has hurt us, by saying, well, so-and-so is playing rock, and so-and-so is playing folk rock, and she's doing the gypsy dance, and like, I feel that we all are playing what people know as jazz, or I call it black classical music. And all of it has something to do, and for us to stand by and let these businessmen program us and put us in little boxes, it keeps us from being together, it keeps us from not working in certain clubs, and it just keeps everything messed up. In other words, unless we all are in tune with each other, when another so-called rock singer would sing with us, there would be a prejudice thing, because they say, I don't know anything about jazz. But that's a lie, because jazz music is the motivation of everything that goes on in this country.
Do you think it, from the way you're speaking, it would be cool if, say, jazz musicians or musicians started running the clubs and handling the criticisms or critiques of records instead of having critics and club managers and all? Or you think the situation as it exists now is cool?
I feel that musicians are in tune enough to where they should be able to make some decisions that go on in this country to where the music and how the music should be programmed. In other words, I'm sort of tired of working in clubs where you get a guy that calls himself a floor boss or whatever he is, and he doesn't know anything about the music, he doesn't know anything about you, and the only way that he really gets by most of the time is that he runs errands in the daytime and sweeps the floor in the daytime for the club owner. So this makes him qualified to know about the music, but I think that's really a drag when, there are musicians that these people can hire in these cities to help the club owner deal with the music and make the musician feel comfortable when he comes in the room, and help with the advertisement and show him, to steer him in the right way, how to keep the people satisfied, In other words, the musician is usually the last one that gets to make a decision about something.
Well, there's one thing that nobody makes a decision about, and that's your music. And it's always an incredible experience when we hear Rahsaan Roland Kirk and the Vibration Society. And thank you very much, Rahsaan.
Okay. Thank you, Sante.
Brothers and sisters, a very pleasant good evening to you, and welcome to a brand new season of Soul. I am your announcer, Jerry B. And tonight on Soul here at Club Soul, we'll be experiencing the sounds of one of music world's most gifted and skilled craftsmen, Rahsaan Roland Kirk and the Vibration Society.
This is a guy to spend these few minutes with you. Probably won't be able to do this again for a long time. Yeah, but it's the guys for being here. Mr. Haizlip, he really gets into our music. He was at an experience of ours, and he just really let himself go. And that, I like to see people get into the music, start speaking in other tongues and all that kind of stuff. That's really something. Crosses you must deal with in life. We don't really have enough time to run down all the crosses that might cross you up. But if we can be any way of help to tell you about some of the crosses, then you know some of the crosses that you probably dealt with, and just bring them back out of your mind again. Say, I don't have no cross I have to deal with. He must be crazy. Well, if you lay down across someone tonight, you putting yourself in a hell of a cross. If you're not careful, you know what I mean? And for those that will not be laying down across someone that have to lay down by themselves tonight, sometimes you get off a cross because you be lonely. You know what I mean? And if you go home tonight and somebody is taking care of your cross, you'll really be cross. See? So it really ain't always got nothing to do with, the cross that you're trying to associate with. The cross, we all have a cross that we must bear. Now there's the green cross, the white cross, the yellow cross, the black cross, the double cross, the crisscross, the wrong cross, the heavy cross, the music cross, the love cross, the old jive president cross, the old governor cross, the jail cross, the smoking cross, the cocaine cross, all kind of crosses. I know y'all know some crosses that you can shout out. Let us know that you got a cross that you must bear. Ain't y'all got some crosses out there? What kind of cross you got? Tell me about it. See what I mean? We all have a cross. But now, a cross ain't supposed to cross you up. You're supposed to go on and get across the cross that you want to get across, and go on across that cross, make that cross, do whatever you want to do to make you get yourself across. And once you done got across that cross, you're supposed to look back across that cross and go on and deal with it and leave it alone. Yeah. I tell you, the cross gets awful heavy. I tell you, people been sleeping on Rahsaan Roland Kirk. Rahsaan Roland Kirk is capable to be on any qualified television show. Rahsaan Roland Kirk is capable to be and to stand up with anyone that calls themselves a philosophizer. Because I know how to philosophize in my own way. There's all kind of ways to philosophize. Oh, yeah. 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 And not only Rahsaan Roland Kirk, there's other musicians that know how to philosophize and deal with the situation that have been sleep on. People don't even want us on television, on prime shows, on beautiful black shows that we could be able to hold our own on and sit on the panel with all those other people that are supposed to be so hip, but they sit up there so dried up and they be judging and passing judging on people, and it's a drag that they shut such beautiful people out of their life. So we must realize this, and if you can realize that this is a cross that they must deal with one day in their life, they will have to come on and take this cross in their hand, and they might be off a cross, is what I'm saying, because sometimes when the cross gets heavy, you get off a cross and you don't even know how to get across that cross, and when you look back across that cross, you mad and cross at yourself because you didn't even know how to deal with the cross that you got crossed at. Yes. I tell you, this is a very impromptu situation. Yes. We almost have to go. And we're going to close with a tune from one of our records. This tune is called Blacknuss. And it features, the piano has 52 white notes and 36 black notes. And on this tune, we feature nothing but the 36 black notes. In this case, the black notes are on top. And if you want to join in with us on this, the words are BLACKNUSS. We've enjoyed being here. Hope to see you again somewhere on this plantation earth. And all we can say is we hope you stay on the case. Don't get inside the case, because if you get inside the case, they'll shut the case up on you and you'll never get out again. So if you got a case that you trying to get together on, stay on that case. Sit on it. Jump down and jump up and down on it. But just don't let them open the case up and put you down in it. Because, you know, when they got them papers in the briefcase, papers can't say nothing about what goes on. Papers just have to go along with what they going on, because they in that briefcase and they being handled in that briefcase. But when a paper is up on top of the briefcase, they can't do nothing about it, because if they pick the briefcase up, the papers all fall down on the floor, then they have to scramble down on the floor and put them back in the briefcase. But if the papers have something to say about it, they might not even get in that briefcase, and the businessman would always be uptight. You understand what I mean? Oh, Lord. Yeah. But I guess we all have to take care of some kind of business, so we shouldn't knock no businessman. But we knock the ones that think they got it all together, because ain't nobody really got it all together. So those that really think that they all got it together, they should get back in that big case, a big case about as big as this plantation earth, and they should get down in that case and put the lid on them and let the planet earth spin around those people that got it all together around that big case, and the case should be square, and then won't nobody have to worry about getting dizzy, because we'll be not spinning around, we'll be squaring around, and the whole thing, the whole truth will come out. And like, we hope the ones, when they see this show, we hope the ones that were in, like the people that was too far in, we hope we took them out. And we hope the ones that was real far out, we hope we brought them back in. And and we hope the wind will blow on them, blow on them, blow on them, the wind. We've enjoyed being here. There don't have to be a whole lot of people to hear this music. As long as we have people listening to this music, that is the most important thing. And we're glad to be able to share this beautiful music with you. So stay on the case and we'll see you again.
Please
Soul, a production of WNET 13.
And that was a TV show called Soul, broadcast from roughly 1972, Rahsaan Roland Kirk and the Vibration Society. And quite a broadcast made, of course, to a live audience, made before a live audience. And they dug it quite a bit, and I hope you did too. And let me tell you what you heard in order as it happened. First, again, was the announcement of what was going to happen, a show with Rahsaan Roland Kirk and the Vibration Society, hosted by the producer and regular host of the show, Soul, Mr. Ellis Haizlip. Then you had a partial take, you could call it, of the Inflated tier, and that performed by the Vibration Society in the incarnation of Rahsaan Roland Kirk on tenor sax, manzello, stritch, clarinet, whistle, conch shell. Yes, the only recording of him on the conch shell. Siren and gong. Ron Burton was on piano. Mattathias Pete Pearson was on bass. Robert Shai was the drummer, and Art Perry on percussion. Okay, after the Inflated tier, you had an interview of Rahsaan by Soul's host and producer Ellis Haizlip. After that, they went into Pedal Up. And after that, Rahsaan talked a little bit before going into Old Rugged Cross, which, as I think he mentioned, was on a recording that probably had just come out at the time. Old Rugged Cross went into something that is also on that same album, the title track, Blacknuss. So they went from Old Rugged Cross with big ending into Blacknuss. Now towards the end of Blacknuss is where there's the gap on the tape, and we don't get a clean ending of Blacknuss, but what we get is the Inflated tier, the rest of it, when it comes back. And after the Inflated tier, you have Dem Red Beans and Rice, and that's the end of the show. So, again, we believe it's from, they said it was the first show of the 5th season of Soul, so anybody out there who collects TV program guides or had something to do with that show, or somehow knows the schedule of it, could tell us when, even when exactly to the day that broadcast was made. But I figure it was probably 1972. I know the show started in the late 60s and didn't last into the 70s, unfortunately. But that would figure. And also the fact that he's called Rahsaan means it's after August of 69. The fact that Pedal Up is on it and Dem Red Beans and Rice is on it, both of which are on Bright Moments, and they were recorded in 73. Means that it's near 73 anyway, if not actually in 1973. And the fact that he mentions an album as if it perhaps is their latest album, Blacknuss was released in January of 72, so perhaps it actually was early 1972. At any rate, some great music and also some very important interview. Rahsaan, as usual, saying some very relevant things, and also a chance to hear Rahsaan as he would give the Blacknuss sermon to a mostly, if not all, black audience. So, Rahsaan Roland Kirk, another rarity, TV broadcast from the early 1970s, perhaps 1972.